All right, you're back here on the program. Not only has he won gold for us a couple of times, but he's also involved in maybe the most fierce, bloodthirsty competition Canada has ever known, Canada Reads. He's representing Half-Blood Blues. Donovan Bailey. So how are you?
Good to be here, man.
Listen, I know you're a competitive guy, but did you have any idea what you were getting into with Canada Reads?
I had no clue. I actually, you know what? I actually still don't think I have a clue. No, seriously.
You got to get out there and you have to fight on behalf of this book, and people say nasty. Like, it's crazy.
Well, you know what? I've been looking at clips, and I'm like, man, I didn't know. I didn't, and there's some fierce opponents that are on the panel. So
why Half-Blood Blues?
Well, you know what? I think that. One, I think it's the best book written in modern times, written by a great Canadian, Edugyan. You know, it tells an amazing story, you know, that's never been told before about how blacks were treated in Nazi Germany. Yeah. You know, it's also about, I mean, there's a lot of layers.
Mid-30s era, right?
Yes.
In the early days, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and you know, it deals with racism, jealousy, envy, you know, and it essentially rolls into, you know, citizenship. And immigrants and people belonging. So essentially it's Canada.
And you even specifically, right? I mean, you came here when you were a young man, like you were still a boy, but you
absolutely,
like, you know that story, and you were very conscious of it.
Well, you know, I'm very conscious of that, and I'm sure that you know, my forefathers and your forefathers would be quite happy that a Greek and a Jamaican is sitting here right now having a conversation
in a country like this.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
No, it's absolutely beautiful.
Correct.
What's cool about this story too is you want to talk. It's just leading up to the big Berlin Games, the Olympic Games. Those ones, the ones Jesse Owens ran. So even as a sprinter, you know, like there's a real connection to that era too.
You know what? It's yeah. I mean, one, Berlin was one of my favorite places to compete.
Yeah, it's a great city.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as historical sprinting is concerned, where Canada is concerned, you know, Ted Williams won in 1928, and the only other gold medal in the history of this country is 1996. So, I mean, you know, there's a lot to be said.
Gold medal for you.
Absolutely.
Listen, I think if anything, SE and Half-Blood Blues have a great advocate on their side because you know how to put the work in to win.
You know what? I hope so. I mean, I think that, you know, when I first heard of this and thought of it, I thought, oh, I'd read one novel and then you go debate it. Okay, no, you got to read 5.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, it takes, you know, I mean, it definitely took some time, but I'm getting through it, and hopefully I'm prepared, and I can do the book justice on Monday.
I'm sure you will. What did you make of the Winter Games?
Amazing. No, come on. Canada, man. Why not us?
Yeah, you know, why not us? What do you think about the Summer Games coming up? So, you know, we're not that far away from the Summer Games. That'll be a big one.
Well, you know what? I think that and this is what you know, I'm working on a couple of projects right now. And hopefully our summer athletes are the Olympics, because I guess in my world there's the Olympics and then there's Winter Olympics.
Right.
So I just yeah, sorry.
But in the Winter Games, they've managed the marketing so well. The hashtag We Are Winter is a beautiful thing. But the Summer Olympics, Canada doesn't have the same kind of expectations for athletes in the Summer Games, with the exception of when you ran.
Well, we don't, and I think that we have to change that philosophy. I mean, we want to own the podium. And you know, when I ran, you know, I was an arrogant sprinter guy. But now we own the podium, and that's really what my intention was then. And we're doing it now in the Winter Games, and I think that we need to prepare ourselves and get ready for 2016.
Listen, I think, I know we've talked about this partly on camera and off camera as well, you have I never thought you were the arrogant sprinter, but history being what it is, you have every right to be, because since '84, only you and Usain Bolt don't have a positive drug test in this sport. So that's an incredible thing.
Thank you.
That's an incredible thing. Yeah. So when you know, we played it before the break, when you were running around the court, like, you had that look in your face when you won. It's like, that's the man who knows he's not getting caught.
Correct. Well, I mean, there's no reason. There's no reason for me to question, you know, my behavior or anyone on my team, because everyone's on the same page, and I was going to win anyway.
Do you think now, like with your but with your marketing skills, because what you've done a really good job is you know how to market and present things. And I kind of feel for Ben Johnson, because Ben Johnson seemed to be surrounded with all the worst people in the world. And the reason I bring up the Ben Johnson thing now, and I don't normally want to bring it up with you, but is because this came out on the ESPN series 30 for 30. I don't know if you've seen it. It's incredible. Take a look at this clip.
You say that he put the steroids in my drinks, in my beer, occasional times. A couple meets in Zurich. a couple of times in Seoul, Korea, when I trained at the training site, at the Canadian tent. He put steroids in the water.
So he freely admitted.
Freely admitted, yeah.
That he spiked.
He spikes my
on
drinks.
Many occasions.
Many occasions, yeah.
Jackson refused to be interviewed on camera, but did offer this response to Johnson's allegations.
That's a huge moment when I saw that series.
Well, you know what? There was a Dublin inquiry. I mean, I was a kid, so there was a Dublin inquiry then, and there's Ben and Charlie and the whole crew admitted that they had been drugging for 10 years. So for me, that's irrelevant.
That's just one, yeah, because that's just one particular race that they're talking about. But the fact that it's still only you and Usain, that's pretty incredible.
Well, you know what? Again, I'm essentially honoring number one, my parents, and definitely number two, my country. So I think that that's just who I am, and that's who I'll continue to be.
You did your parents proud. Watch this.
When he started to play basketball, I said, well, you don't have much of a basketball career. He was too skinny for football, so the next thing in line would be track.
Donovan didn't miss a basketball practice. Donovan worked as hard as he could at basketball when he was here, but he missed a lot of track practices, and once or twice, I think, was kicked off the track team for missing practices.
Yet somehow you became that guy. Where was the switch in you? And I ask you because if there are kids watching now who haven't figured out their pacing yet, what was the turn in you?
Well, listen, I'm still passionate about basketball, so let's get that straight. However, there is no need for a 6'1" power forward in the NBA. That's impossible. Who couldn't handle the ball, right? and couldn't shoot, so well. I'm a little better now.
You could have played for the '97 Raptors. You could have played for the '97 Raptors.
I don't know about that. But I think that as I got older, I realized that I did have a blessing, and I did have a gift. And it was something that I really had to utilize before I got too old. And thank God I had some, surrounded myself with some amazing people who kind of, supported me supported me along the way and kind of said, listen, you should try this, including Dan. I met Dan Paff, who was my coach, still my coach, and he said anytime I wanted to pursue it, that I should just come and move to America and come and train with him.
And thank God that you did it as a Canadian.
Thank you.
Which is amazing. So this is the book. He's going to defend Half-Blood Blues by Edugyan, and it's going to be a hell of a competition because he doesn't like to lose, as we know. It's at Canada Reads March 3rd to the 6th on CBC Radio, television, and CBC.ca as well. What a pleasure to see you, sir.
Great to see you, John.
Donovan Bailey, thank you very much. Steve is going to be